right. Kevin Durant, he has talked to our friend Chris Haynes. He's talked about his trade request, his coaching frustrations, and much, much more. And that is right on time, fellas. Vincent Goodwill and Tom Haberstroh is right on time because last night I saw something that is not usual in a regular season game, like not a regular season, regulation game. Brooklyn Nets gave up 153 points in regulation. Like, what the hell? And I was just about to say, Tom, I was yes, to the Kings, who were playing well. Okay, give it to them. But I was just about to say, man, Brooklyn is playing so hard. They're playing well for Jacques Vaughn. You ain't playing hard if you give up 153 points in regulation. What's going on with Brooklyn, Tom, and then Vinny? Talk to me about this. I just want to hear y'all talk about the Brooklyn Nets.
Man, I feel so bad for Chris Haynes because I know as a reporter, this kind of happens where you're like, you get in touch with a player, get in touch with a coach. You're like, I'm in town. Let's meet up after the game. Let's sit down for an interview and let's just get this all on the record. Let's do it. And the player, or the coach, or whoever it is agrees to it. And then you go up and give up 153 points to the Sacramento Kings. And you're like, oh my God, this player, this coach is going to be in the worst mood, but this is my only shot. And Kevin Durant, he seemed completely honest and candid in this conversation with Chris Haynes. And he said, yeah, we lost, but I'm feeling good about the team, feeling good about the direction that Jacques Vaughn is going in, all that. But I don't know if you guys caught the Dave Chappelle SNL stand-up this past weekend.
Of course.
But yes. You remember he said there's a difference between things you can think and things you can say out loud. And Kevin Durant said the thing you cannot say out loud, which is, look at my starting lineup.
Yeah.
Edmund Sumner.
Look at my teammates.
Look at my
teammates. You expect me to win with these dudes?
You expect me to win? What do you expect? Like, Kevin Durant's absolutely right. He's absolutely correct. When you have a starting lineup that features those players, we can't expect them to win without Kevin Durant in uniform. And that's what he said. But this is the sort of thing that can rip up a locker room if they're not expecting it. If they don't know that's how you feel, this sort of thing can rip up a locker room. And to be honest, that locker room doesn't have much to rip up in the first place, considering what has transpired over the last couple years. So if you're those teammates looking at this report, looking at that quote, you got to be feeling a certain way. But he's right. And that's the thing about this team, is that every day there seems to be another headline, another quip, another moment on the court, another report that just has me thinking, man, this is the biggest soap opera. And I thought the Lakers could never be dethroned as the biggest soap opera in the NBA, but here we are.
Well, see, I tend to disagree a little bit because he said, look at the starting five. And you know two names he didn't say? He didn't mention their backup center or their starting point guard or their other starting point guard who's suspended. So if you're on a top-heavy team and you're missing two players who make a combined, $70-something million, the person you're going to put it on is the person making $40 million in Kevin Durant. I don't think he was bashing on the players that he has. He was telling the truth, but he was also saying, hey, this is why I didn't want to be here, because even though Kyrie Irving is my boy, even though we traded James Harden for Ben Simmons, look around, y'all. In addition to the front office, in addition to the coaching staff, I'm going to throw this out to both of y'all, and y'all tell me what you think.
Okay.
Kevin Durant, because of the personnel moves, the perceived personnel moves, people believe Kevin Durant wanted, easy, go easy on me, give me everything I want. What I heard was, yeah, give me what I want, but hold me to higher expectations. Coach me. Great players usually want to be coached. And I feel like that's been right. A miscalculation from the Brooklyn Nets. They took the front office strategy. They took Kevin Durant, the GM, and made him Kevin Durant, the player, And those are two totally different, separate entities. And I think that's been their biggest mistake as far as dealing with him and him wanting to get up out of there, which I think he still does want to get up out of there, especially when you name that starting five.
Well, it's a great point. Tom, do you think that, do you think there's a chance that Durant can be traded, say, by February? And two, I'm going to double barrel you. I know this is anti-Sawatsky. Don't ask two questions, ask one. But I'm going to ask two. So, one, will he be traded by February? Two, you think the Nets have handled him properly?
Oh, yes, for sure. I mean, when you're talking about Kevin Durant and the situation he left and the structure that he left in Golden State, my problem with his stance is that he wants harder coaching, that he wants more structure, that he wants practices. It does seem like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't run away from the Golden State Warriors and being part of a system and being part of a culture and being part of Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and go build your own culture. Kenny Atkinson gone. The whole entire culture of the Brooklyn Nets gone. You got saddling up with Kyrie Irving. And now you're saying, I want to be coached harder. I want more of a system. I want more people pressuring me and holding me accountable. And that's where I have a problem with it, where it's like, man, it seems like no matter where the situation is, he's not happy with the coach or happy with the situation or his teammates. And so I don't know what team is going to be able to make him happy as a basketball player, because it seems like he went from one extreme to the other. And it doesn't seem like he knows exactly what he wants, because Steve Nash was portrayed as a Kevin Durant hire, that it was Kevin Durant who wanted someone from that organization, the Warriors organization that he had experience with, and wanted Steve Nash. And then it turns out, I actually want someone who coaches me harder. So take that to the next extension, which is like, okay, where would he be happy? Where would he be wanting to play? And I'm sure Kevin Durant can walk into Sean Marks' office right now and say, here are the teams that I want to go to. I don't know who that team is. I really don't. I'm looking. I mean, we talked about it last week, the Philadelphia 76ers as a possible landing spot for the Philadelphia 76ers. They have their own coaching situation at hand as well that are issues. So I do think that without Ime Udoka being hired, that to me sends a signal that this is not a long-term strategy, that this KD Kyrie partnership and the whole thing is a short-term thing. And if Kevin Durant wanted Ime Udoka and he didn't get Ime Udoka, then that sends a signal to Kevin Durant too, which is, man, this might not be a long-term partnership. So I do expect that they will try to make moves with Kevin Durant, but I don't know if they'll ever come to that right team, because the package and the unhappiness of like, we got to fulfill all his wish list in order to get him a trading partner. I just don't see that happening between now and February.
I think two things can be true. I think Kevin Durant could go from one extreme to the next, and we've all been through it. Sometimes you miss what you think you didn't really like, right? Or you wish you had it under different circumstances. And secondly, I think Kevin Durant wants to be held accountable on the floor, not off of it. I think he doesn't want to be asked questions about, why couldn't you get Kyrie to take the vaccine, but still be viewed as a leader within the locker room and still be viewed as a leader on the floor? It sounds inconsistent, but when you look at it when you silo it from a basketball perspective, and he's a basketball purist, I think he wants to be held accountable in that particular 94 by 55, surface, not necessarily the drama and everything else. And when you look at when he goes on Twitter and he talks about things, he's a technical basketball savant. And then he just sort of happens to dabble in the drama. You can want the reverse and just not get it. You can want the reverse and be wholly inconsistent or be consistently inconsistent, as Kevin Durant appears to be. Y'all ain't never had an ex-girlfriend that y'all thought was a little bit crazy and then was like, man, she wasn't so crazy. Or she was crazy. Man, I liked her calling every day. You know what I mean? This is what he wants.
Vinny, I didn't have any ex-girlfriends. My wife is my first girlfriend. So first.
Oh my God.
So I just want to let you. It's just for the record. For the record.
Great answer.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right.
Answer. Excellent.
Okay.
Answer.
Okay, Vinny. Okay, Tom.
Yeah,
What that
he's the Tim Duncan of husbands, man. The first team that brought him into the league. He's for life. They don't.
Barry White, my
I'm
first,
gonna go
my
old
last,
school.
my everything.
I'm gonna go old school on you. I'm the AC Green of this thing. Y'all,
hey, okay. I don't know if that means the same thing as the metaphor you're making, but yeah. All right.
Oh my goodness.
How many kids you got, Michael
Hey,
Holley?
I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it.
No, before. I'm saying before. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.